operators, I guess would probably be the appropriate term today. We'll be arriving a little late, so please don't notice too much as she slides in over there. And that's about it, so welcome. Our first scene is Icarus Flying by A.S. Freeman.
How should I have reacted when the son of a craftsman comes to me and asks about making wings of wax and feathers? He came to me a week ago and I laughed. He came to me and started talking about freedom, about leaving the island, about getting away from King Minos, about soaring like the birds. Soaring like the birds in the sky, free and clear. If even a murmur of that kind of talk ever found its way into the palace, well, I shudder to think what they might do to me just for having this conversation. But there was a light in his eyes, and I laughed in his face. He actually thought he could fly, with wings of wax and feather. Icarus and I hadn't spoken much since his sister died. He had become despondent, lost, wandering about the island. His nephew, my grandson, had wanted nothing more than to cling to his uncle. But Icarus wanted nothing more than to get away from all that reminded him of his sister. Then one day, as winter gave way to spring, the birds returned, and Icarus lit up. He started smiling again, watching the birds dance on the wind. He told me once that he admired the birds for their carefree attitude, and he told me that he had a plan to become just like them. I laughed at that sweet, innocent boy. When he started asking questions about the wax, I laughed some more. But it didn't seem right to fully squash his dreams, so I gave him wax from the shop, and he went out to gather the rest of his supplies. As he left the shop, my grandson came in, and Icarus lowered himself down to finally embrace his nephew and tell him what he planned to do. After Icarus left, my grandson asked me if he was really going to do it, if Icarus was going to soar among the birds and be free up in the skies where the state couldn't reach him. I told him that Icarus was certainly going to try. And he spent the rest of the night with his arms spread wide, soaring around our tiny home, pretending to soak up the sun, to be as free as a bird. Free as a bird. To say it sounds off, sounds delightfully unattainable. It's easy to feel like trouble from the authorities can come at any moment. From crossing the street wrong, to selling something, to a fleeting thought you express to a friend. So even the freedom to think about going up into the sky seems, well, to even conceive of being anywhere but here would just be, he was dreaming. To think he could fly. It is divine to want knowledge. It is the gift of the gods, after all. But man must stick to his limits. And he and I and my 4-year-old grandson were limited to Crete. That was our lot in life and our home, no matter how badly he wanted wings. He came to me a week ago and I laughed. And this morning I laughed again at the sight of those wings. As he ascended the mountainside, I'm glad to say that I wasn't the only one laughing, but the laughter wasn't cruel. It was liberating. And picture a healthy, athletic young man with feathers and wax covering his arms to look like the wings of a bird. It was worthy of a laugh. Then the breeze started to pick up, as though the gods themselves were approving of this attempt. And he launched himself off the cliff, and for a moment, time stood still. For a moment, we all felt that rush. For a moment, we were all free. Not just him, but all of us. And this moment was and is something that they can never take away from us. They will undoubtedly hold up Icarus' fall as a warning to us all, to teach us to stick to our limits. But What they don't realize is that to fall is divine. Because there is no fall if there is no flight.
Next is Distance to the Sun by O.G. Uberoth. The setting is the middle of a field. A black stage, a big lighter sparks.
Father, Father, end your flight. Come to me and bring the light.
Flicks the lighter, it won't light.
Light. Light. Come on. Father, Father, end your flight. Come to me and bring the light.
He flicks the lighter, it won't light.
Light. Light. I can't believe I have to do this again. You knew I was coming. We just talked about it. Come on. Father, Father, end your flight. Come to me and bring the light.
He flicks the lighter, and it doesn't light.
Light already.
It lights, then goes out.
Father, Father, end your flight. Show yourself, invade my sight.
Flicks the lighter.
Stupid lighter, stupid light.
Flicks the lighter again.
This is pointless. Let's just forget the whole thing. You're not the only one who can make light, you know. It's everywhere now. Heck, you don't even have to make it. You just carry it around like a pizza delivery man. That's it. You're just a glorified delivery guy.
The lighter flicks.
Father, Father, God of light, you promised you'd be here tonight. I can't believe you're standing me up again. You know what? Your day is over anyway. You're a has-been. It's a modern world now.
Flicks the lighter, it doesn't light.
What? No response? You're not even going to defend yourself.
Lighter produces a weak flame that goes out.
Lame! Is that all you've got? I'm a little disappointed. You're supposed to be a god after all.
The lighter light.
Oh, there we go. I just want to know why you can't ever show up when you say you will. Answer me!
Dawn breaks on Pate's face. As the sun rises, he begins to stand. When the orange and rose light is at a warm glow, he steels himself in his strongest, most aggressive stance, and he shouts to the horizon,
You never loved me!
The sky does not respond.
You hear me? Answer me for God's sake! I know why you're not saying anything. You don't have any power anymore. The world's changed, old man. People don't believe in your kind anymore. Do you hear me?
The sky brightens a small bit.
I don't have a father! My mother lied!
The sky begins to get anger and tense.
My real father was a feeble-minded goat herder with an unhealthy interest in his sister!
The sky grows brighter.
You promised you'd be here!
The orange sky flares. Faint sounds of war can be heard in the distance. Helios enters. Shouting the war noises, he's an eccentric general patched together with a symbol from every war in history. He's carrying a large box with Chinese symbols stenciled on the side and covered with shipping labels.
Now let that be the last of it. Don't make me come back.
Finally!
Okay, I'm here. What's the beef?
Where have you been, Dad? I've been calling you for hours, saying that stupid poem over and over.
Why didn't you just light a fire at the temple?
How am I supposed to get to the temple, Dad? Make a pair of wings and fly? This is frickin' Akron.
Yeah, sorry, kid. Lots going on. I finally had Afghanistan where I wanted, and then out all they went underground. Gonna have to flood them out now. No other way to get them to listen to reason.
Did you hear what I said? I've been sitting here for hours.
I know.
It's not the first time, Dad.
Look, I get it. You're mad. You think I forgot your birthday.
Helios shakes the box.
But I didn't. Not this time. Wait till you get a load of this.
I don't want anything from you.
Of course you do. That's why you called me, isn't it?
I called you because you... Never mind. Now I'm here to say goodbye.
What do you mean, goodbye? The party's just getting started. I thought we'd grab a little dinner, maybe take the horses out for a little.
I've been screaming myself hoarse for hours. I'm not in the mood for a party anymore.
Oh, come on. You don't have to be anywhere. We've got all the time in the world. Let's take out the horses.
I don't mean goodbye, I'm going home. I mean goodbye, I don't want to see you anymore.
You're not making sense.
That's because you're not listening.
Okay, I get it. You're mad. But come on, we said we'd have a little fun on your birthday, and here I am. So I was a little late.
A little.
You want to teach the old man a lesson? Is that it?
What I wanted was you to keep your word. Just once.
Hey, I've got a job to do. Occasionally it's going to interfere with your ice cream and cake. I've got things to do. You should see some of the stuff you people come up with.
You people?
Oh, I didn't mean anything by that.
What do you mean by you people? You'll never let me forget that I'm half human, will you?
No, you are. I'm not trying to remind you or anything, but the facts are the facts.
And that's the problem, isn't it? You're ashamed of me. It's just a big joke to have me stand in the middle of the field repeating that rancid chat so you and your buddies can get a laugh at the half-god. Somebody who'll never be your equal. Somebody who...
Helios lets the box fall to the ground.
Whoa, now ease up a minute, son. I don't know what's eating you, but I guess this tick or whatever is you itching to scratch it. So, what's the real problem? Spit it out. No need to stand on the formality of my office or anything.
I'll spit it out. It's my birthday, again. You don't show up for hours, even though you told me last night you would absolutely be here. You said, what kind of God would I be if I didn't keep my word to my son? I'll be there, I promise. On time, ready to go. Birthday mischief is top priority. That's what you said. Instead, just like always, you show up when you're good and ready. I look like an idiot trying to get your attention, and then I find out you're out there running around like a kid in a sandbox, trying to chase down Afghans or something. That's not even your job.
I'm trying to help out. The world's gotten complicated over the years.
What's the big whooping deal about Afghanistan anyway? What makes them so special?
Are you serious?
Just once. I'd like to be the priority.
Now here it comes. You were never around when I was growing up. Other kids made fun of me. I didn't have a dad to teach me how to do things.
Do things, yes!
Yeah, look, a lot of kids
have it way worse off than I do, I know. But we aren't talking about them, are we? I don't know what my mother ever saw in you.
Hey, now, leave your mother out of this.
Do you know that after all this time, she still talks about you like you never dumped her?
That ought to tell you something about her character.
After you knock her up and abandon her.
Tread lightly, boy.
She actually still defends you, but I know what you are. Just another deadbeat dad who won't be held accountable.
Helios raises his arm and Pate comes to immediate attention as Helios controls his body.
Accountable for what? To whom? You? Don't mistake my tolerance for pusshood, boy. I've got more kids out there than Haiti has ass pimples, and the only reason I'm here with you is because I thought I saw something special in you.
Helios releases Pate.
This is how you treat special? Hours late and ignoring my feelings.
Jeez. I'd hoped you'd grow out of this.
Grow out of not having a father around?
Grow out of this Dr. Phil cappuccino sucking sensitive crap.
I needed you to. I needed you to.
To what? Show you how? Do it for you? Maybe take you fishing?
That would have been nice.
How about you just nut up for a change? You know, you always haven't been the greatest son either. You don't hear me whine about it.
That's just like you. Turn the whole thing around so that you're the injured party.
No, you can be injured, but I can't.
Are you really competing with me for this?
Well, you're driving in two-way traffic.
You're the parent.
You started it.
You're the god.
So?
So that makes you the responsible one. I can't believe I actually have to say this.
I am responsible for the cosmos and destiny and universes filled with things you'll never understand. I'm part of a band that plays the songs of nature itself. I bring the sunlight that puts the food in your belly and keeps you alive on this pitifully small planet. I'm vast, beyond your ability to even imagine. I'm kind of a big deal.
Afghanistan?
I'm branching out.
You know what? No, never mind. It's time to say goodbye, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going around in circles with a yard sale god who's only a water boy for God's real jobs.
Pate turns and begins to storm off. Helios raises his hand and Pate freezes in place. Helios waves his hand and forces Pate to look at him. Pate is unable to speak for the moment while Helios is controlling him.
Now you hold there, mister.
Helios moves Pate like a rag doll as he speaks.
Now over the years, I've been indulgent of your little tantrums. It was cute when you were 3. And I still have a fondness for your mother. It makes it hard for me to give you what you've got coming. But by Zeus's bolt and balls, if you don't change your attitude, and I mean quick, mother or not, you and I, we're going to dance. Now, we're both going to take a little minute to calm down here, and then we'll start all over, politely. And son, I beg you to remember that even though you think I'm just a yard sale god, I can still turn you into a rock or something.
Helios releases Pate, who visibly relaxes. Helios kicks the box toward Pate's general direction.
Here, happy birthday.
Something to ease your conscience?
Do you want it or not?
Why not? It's the least you can do.
Helios holds up his hand again to control Pate.
What did I just say?
Pate approaches the distress box and unceremoniously rips open the lid.
The Chinese gave it to me as a thank you. Sent it all the way to San Francisco to get it. I tweaked it a little.
Fortune cookies? You're giving me fortune cookies.
I like it.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't even think about this. You could have tried to come up with something special on my birthday. You don't even care if I like them or not. Why even bother to...
Of course I care.
If the Chinese hadn't given you this box, what would have you brought me? Anything?
But come up with something.
Sure. With no forethought, no wondering what I'm interested in, no thought about me at all. Are all gods like this? I mean, why even have kids if you're just...
Oh, come on. It's not like we're sitting around on thrones all day. Do you have any idea what the Libyans are up to? The Somalis? The housewives in New Jersey? There's a war to break them, son. And if gods don't end it, it'll all be chaos. Your birthday will be the least of your worries then, me laddo.
I think there are times when I should come first.
I'm here, aren't I?
Do you know how hard it's been to grow up without you? To have to repeat some ridiculous chant just so to see you for 5 minutes? How do you think I felt hearing the other kids about their dads? My dad's a doctor, he saves lives. My dad's a senator, he makes laws. What was I supposed to say? My dad's a gun, he carries his son across the planet every day. How many pages do you think that psych evaluation would be? Did you ever think about things like that?
So what do you want then? You want me to dress in a long white robe with a crown of laurels on my head and show up for Dad's Day at school? You want me to smite your enemies or turn them into stone for you? What are you looking at? What are you looking for here?
I just want to be who I am. I think I have that right. I want my own powers. I want to be able to, I don't know, prove to people that I am who I am.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. You're not interested in proving anything about yourself. You want to prove that I am who I am. You don't want a dad. You want a connection to power. You want to be something special, and you think you can go make something happen for yourself if you go around telling everybody your dad's a god. See, that kind of attitude is so damn ordinary. But I guess it's to be expected. It happens all the time with kids who have celebrity parents. You think you're automatically entitled to something because
But that's not true.
it's true. Otherwise, you'd get off the piss pot and go out there and make your own name.
Can you honestly tell me that?
Here's what I'm honestly telling you, kid. It's your life. You take it or leave it.
What?
Look, I'm on a timeline here. Korea's got issues with Japan. Japan has issues with China. Everybody's got issues with Bieber. And you got me standing here listening to your daddy issues. The entire world is falling apart, son, so take it or leave it.
Pate hesitantly approaches the box, moves his hand around inside, looking for the right one.
Here's the tricky part, though. Whichever one you pick, you're going to have to live with it for the rest of your life.
What? Like jelly of the month or something?
Not quite.
Well, what then? Superpowers?
It could be. But son, it's all how you look at things.
Meaning?
Meaning to me, a loaf of homemade bread is miraculous. How your mom made great bread.
That's nothing special.
See, that's what I mean. To me, it is. So in that box are a couple 100 possibilities. Could be baking bread. Could be the ability to fly. It's your pick. All I'm saying is, whatever you choose, you have got to be prepared to live with it for the rest of your life.
Well, of course I would. Why wouldn't I want to keep it?
Well, you say that now. But sometimes the things we think are blessings can turn into curses pretty quick. So choose wisely, son, for the sake of your destiny.
Now you're just trying to scare me.
Just trying to give you a little fatherly advice. That's what you wanted, isn't it?
What if I pick one I don't like? Can I trade it?
Nope.
How is that fair? It's my birth.
Take it or leave it.
Will it prove that I'm the son of a god?
You know, I never noticed how insecure you are. Always worried about what other people think. It's so...
What, human?
I was going to say childish. But you can say human if it helps make your point. It's not entirely accurate.
You mean you finally recognize being human isn't a defect?
Of course. Your defects are completely your own. You made them, you got to live with them. It's got nothing to do with being half human. It's got to do with whether or not you choose to drink from the big boy cup or stay on the tit. Mortal or divine, a man grows up when he decides to. Just an observation. Come on, pick something, will you? I've got work to do.
Don't rush me. What if I pick, like, leprosy or something? Did you put things like that in here?
Come on. Now, why would I... Okay, I'll give you this one clue. Some fortunes are easier to live with than others. Get it?
No.
Okay, I'll slow it down. Some fortunes are easier to live with than others.
You're not trying to help me at all, are you?
No, but you should have seen the look on your face. Now pick.
I don't know if I want to now.
Why not? Afraid?
Yes, I'm afraid. What if it's something I don't want? What if it's something that makes my life harder, or makes me hurt people, or turns me into somebody like...
Me?
Well, yes. No offense.
Well, of course not.
What if it's something I don't want to live with? What if I choose the wrong thing?
Time's up.
What do you mean, time's up? I don't have any idea what to choose here.
Sorry, son. I told you. I'm on a timeline.
But I need... It's a big decision.
Yes, but it's your decision. I'll tell you, since you had to wait for me, I'm going to give you something else too. More time. You take as much time as you need. Break open a cookie, and whatever your fortune is, it's yours forever. You can let me know how it came out later.
Begins to exit.
Wait, how do I know what to pick?
That's just it, son. You don't. You get what you get. Whatever it is, it's up to you to make it work. That's the way life is, kid. It's kind of like a drive-thru. Sometimes you get what you order, and sometimes they leave out the fries. But I hate it when they leave out the fries.
What would you do?
Me? I decide
Which one?
on whether or not there was anything I wanted badly enough to take one at all. Get off the tit, son.
He exits.
Well, I'm off. Got to sort things out between the gays and the cast of Duck Dynasty. I'll tell you, it never stops.
Helios exits. Kate is alone on stage. Stares at the box, reaches in, then backs away. He paces. He begins to close the box, then stops. He walks away from the box as if he intends to leave it alone. He turns back, then continues to circle. He rushes up to it, only to stop again. Blackout. End of play. Give me a moment, guys. I'm going to go close the door back here and hopefully get on a little bit of the noise. Sorry about that. Next is Empty by Brad Rutledge. Times the present. Place is an Italian restaurant somewhere near New York. Small round table in an Italian restaurant. The table has a red and white checkered tablecloth. A bottle of Chianti and 2 clear juice glasses for the wine. Also a bread basket with thick sliced Italian bread. Jimmy Two Suits Montagna and Anthony X-Man Fiamma are seated and are in the middle of a conversation.
What am I gonna do with you?
What?
You. What am I gonna do with you?
I don't know. You could give me a little more juice. I got expenses.
You piss,
He pours wine for himself and Anthony.
you piss it all away on expensive cars and clothes. And broads. Why should I give you more juice? Here, drink this wine.
Because you like me. I don't want anything.
I do like you. That's why I'm trying to figure out what to do. Drink your wine.
They drink. Anthony makes a face.
I should chop you up and use it for chum the next time little Eddie and I go fishing. But I like it.
I don't know why you're pissed. I make you more money than God. My crew makes your other guys look like Girl Scouts selling do-right fucking news.
Yeah, your crew does good. I can't argue with that.
Then why are you busting my balls here?
Jimmy sips his wine while Anthony fidgets.
How's your wife, X-Man?
Dee Dee? She's fine. What's she got to do with anything?
You treat her good?
Damn right I treat her good. Big house, best clothes, lots of bling. She knows it too. Treats me like a king.
What about dime time? How's she feel about that?
Dime time, stupid fucking name. D'Antoni Neroni was old news. He was an asshole. Always was an asshole. Now he's dead. End of story.
Yeah. Except before he was Dee Dee's father and you stuck his phone in a wood-fired pizza oven. Little Eddie said Dime Time's greasy pompadour lit up like a kitchen match. His head exploded like a spaghetti squash, for fuck's sake. He didn't have to be Father of the Year for Dee Dee to maybe have some issues with that.
With all due respect, Jimmy, he stole my car. Not just any car. He stole my 68 Shelby Cobra. Mint condition, worth over 100K.
Yeah, but the thing is, you still owed him for your buying, and you were late. Maybe you shouldn't be buying 100K cars if you can't float the buying. You know what I mean?
I told him I was gonna pay, but he kept busting my balls. Come over for Dee Dee's birthday and drove away in my car. You don't mess with a man Shelby and live to tell about it. The world's a better place now. Even Dee Dee's mother looks better now that he's gone. You might want to tap that, Jimmy. Seriously, she ain't bad looking for someone on the long end of 40.
You made a lot of enemies when you torched Dime Time. You had respect.
Yeah, I bet.
He holds up his glass.
Can I get a single malt or something? This wine tastes like vinegar.
Hey, that's a $60 bottle imported from my family's estate outside Siena. Drink the fucking Chianti, X-Man.
They drink again. Jimmy refills their glasses.
Did you ever hear the story about Dime Time, how he got that name?
I don't know. Maybe. Who gives a shit?
Well, it's instructive. Might help you understand the situation you're in here.
What situation? Jesus, Jimmy, you're giving me a goddamn headache here. Talking in circles.
When Dime Time was younger, not any older than you, I sent him over to Benny Donaldo's place for a collection. Now, Benny couldn't stay away from ponies, and he was into me for, 10, 20 large. The word around was that he was getting ready to skip town, so I sent Dime Time over to convince him it wasn't a good idea and maybe just squeeze him a little bit.
Didn't he have a different name back then?
Yeah, Dime Time, yeah, he was D'Antonio Big Donnie Neroni. Son of a bitch was huge. Her hands like goddamn baseball mitts.
You don't think I don't know he was big? Almost got a hernia sticking his head in that oven.
Shut up. I'm telling you a story here. So Benny was doing the deadbeat two-step, denying everything, acting like he had a big score coming up. So Big Donnie knew it was bullshit, so he starts looking around, seeing what there was in a place that might be worth something. See, Big Donnie knew Benny had a thing for expensive furniture and ponies, like I said. So anyway, Benny gets desperate, pulls his blade out of his pants, switchblade, and he lunges at Big Donnie. Damn near knifes him in the balls, but Big Donnie steps out of the way and Benny cuts him on the leg, right across his left pocket. You only get one chance if you're going to kill Big Donnie, so...
Again, you think I do not know this?
If you don't shut the fuck up and drink your wine, which is like throwing proverbial pearls before the swine, by the way, I'm going to cut your tongue out and eat it with this bread. Here, have some bread with your wine.
Hands Anthony the basket.
So, anyway, Big Donnie, taking exception with Benny's like feeble attempts at sword play, he picks Benny up, he smashes his fucking head through this Art Deco glass coffee table. Well, Big Donnie looks around, glass everywhere, blood, and decides he better get out of here. He doesn't see anything that can pin on him, he leaves.
Did he take the knife? They could have got DNA off the knife, right?
You've been watching CSI Morons again? That was before all that crap. Anyway, he was hardly cut at all.
but his pocket got sliced. What Big Donnie didn't know was that a dime fell out of his pocket when it got sliced. It was lying there right in the middle of the broken glass. He never saw it. But the police found it, and they found his fingerprint on it. Yeah, that's right, Sherlock. They knew about fingerprints even back then. So a partial print on a dime wouldn't be enough to put him away. But there was some witness said they saw this giant going to Benny's place that night. He picked Big Donnie out of the lineup. It was like fucking total setup. Everybody else in the line looked like an extra from The Wizard of Oz. But anyway, the police and the DA, they had enough evidence to just sweat him a little. They tried to get him to roll over on me, but he kept his mouth shut. He ended up doing 6 years for aggravated assault. It's a lot of time for a goddamn dime. Hence, the name, Dime Time.
Why did he do time for murder?
Because Benny had a head like a rock. Didn't kill him. He was never right after that, though. Just rode around town on his bicycle, like unintentionally scaring kids with the scars on his face, one eye missing. Spent his time begging, doing jobs a potato could do.
Jesus.
But Dime Time, he kept his mouth shut. He did the time. He used to joke, if you can't do the time, don't drop the dime. Dime Time got a lot of respect for that. And when he got out, he got his own crew to run because of it. I don't forget guys who treat me right. He treated me right. A stand-up guy. And then you stick his head in the
He
fucking-
stole my Shelby, Jimmy. I couldn't just ignore it. How was I gonna respect I let that slide?
Funny. You know, when you killed Dime Time, your boss, your own father-in-law, everybody knew. They knew you were a dead man. They started rules, like betting on when it was going to happen. How I do it. The most creative one, some sick fuck, I forgot who now. He had me tying you to a wheel and setting fire to you and throwing you out of an airplane. I gave it some thought.
So I didn't.
What? Blow up an airplane or something?
No. Why did you kill me?
Sometimes I wonder. Now. But then, I don't know. You know, there was something about you, some spark, some energy burning inside. I looked at you, I saw part of me in you, and decided to take a chance.
I'm eternally grateful, Jimmy. I truly am.
Anthony, what am I going to do with you?
Again, what am I gonna do with you? Grateful.
Grateful. That's a funny word.
There's nothing funny about it, Jimmy. I'm eternally grateful to you, I swear.
No, not funny, ha, but funny, like interesting. You appreciate what we've done with you. I know that.
I do.
I know, but grateful suggests that you're full. You're not.
Full. Full of what?
Anything. You're not full of anything.
Yeah? Well, you are. You're full of shit. Jesus.
Be careful, Anthony. Be careful. All right, let's review here, shall we?
What?
Nothing is enough. For you. You're young, smart, good looking. That's not enough. You fall in love with the best looking girl in school and you marry her. Oh, that's not enough. You buy a vintage hot rod to envy all your asshole buddies. That's not enough. Dime Time brings you into the family business. That's not enough. You take his life and his job. That's not enough. You bask in the sunshine of Jimmy Two Suits Montana. You sit at his right hand, enjoy the pleasure of his company and the power of his patronage. But still, that's not enough. Is it, man?
It is, Jimmy. It's enough. I swear.
All right, then why, with your pretty wife and your fancy car and your big home and your hotshot job, why, Anthony, why'd you have to fuck my wife?
The two men look at each other, taking each other's measure. Jimmy pours more wine.
Here, drink some more wine.
Listen, Jimmy, I never...
Never what? Never put it in? Never spilled your seed in her? Drink your wine.
I made love to her. I never made love to your wife. Jimmy, you have to know that.
You made eyes at her.
Well, yeah, of course I did. But come on, Jimmy, it's not my fault. She's smoking hot. You know that better than anybody. I wouldn't disrespect you by not making eyes at her.
You bought her gifts.
As a sign of respect, yes, I bought her gifts. Trinkets, really tokens of my respect for her and for you.
So crotchless panties and a push-up bra are a sign of respect for me.
Jimmy,
You made a date to meet her at the Ritz-Carlton. Room 1546. Met her in bed. Candlelight, a bottle of champagne in a stand, with Frank Sinatra playing in the background.
it wasn't like that. It was just some innocent play acting. It was...
Play acting. Yeah, like when you're in the middle of humping her and you scream, Leonessa, who's your lion now? Fuck your big strong lion. I have the DVD, Anthony.
But it wasn't her. It wasn't Leonessa. It was Anna Valerie. Anna, the dancer from your club.
Yeah, but you thought it was Leonessa.
Are you kidding? No one could make that mistake. I knew.
Stop.
Jimmy pauses, drinks some wine, and brings it down a bit.
You're pretty young. You don't probably remember Bill Clinton, do you?
Yeah, I do. He was president while I was a kid. Couldn't keep it in his pants.
He was like you. Nothing was ever enough. But he never had the balls to just say, yeah, I did, so what? Always tried to weasel out of the truth. Yes, I smoked marijuana, but I didn't inhale. I never had sex with that woman. People lost a lot of respect for him, not because he smoked weed and got a Hummer in the Oval Office, but because he got cute with technicalities. Don't be Bill Slick Willie Clinton. Be a man and answer me. Did you go to the Ritz intending to fuck Leonessa?
Yes.
Did you think it was Leonessa while you were doing it?
Yes.
Anthony, what am I going to do with you?
But still, it wasn't her. It was Anna. That's more than a technicality. It's a big deal.
Yeah, for Anna, maybe. Well, I sent in Leonessa's place and had to deal with your little dick and your pathetic technique, but not for me. Everybody knows you were hot for Leonessa, and everybody knows you thought you were doing her in a Ritz. So you see the position you put me in here?
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, you're sorry.
I know that sounds fucking lame, but I am sorry. I am grateful to you for all you've done for me. But I couldn't help myself.
I know you. But are you really
What?
grateful? Or full of gratitude? Are you full of anything, Anthony?
No.
Well, you know what are you? Come on, tell me. Pretend that I sprinkled some magic truth powder in your $60 Chianti. What are you?
I'm empty.
Empty.
Yes, empty.
You know why, Anthony X-Men Fiala, are you empty?
I'm empty because I've been hollowed out.
And what hollowed you out?
Everything. Every fucking thing hollowed me out.
Tell me. Tell me.
Playing dress up with my older sister when I was 3 and getting the shit beat out of me by my old man. My mother hugging me into her big tits and kissing me goodbye on the first day of school. All the assholes who saw it calling me lover boy for years. Frying ants with a magnifying glass or shoving cherry bombs down frogs, watching them blow up just so I could make the other guys laugh. Being laughed at by my 6th grade teacher for reading a Doc Savage book for my book report, so I never wanted to read another book in my life. Having my first girlfriend over way 2 months after we fell in love. Fucking father laughing at me and moped around for it. Calling me a big pussy. People telling me I was too smart to be a wise guy, and others telling me I was too dumb to go to college. Dime time telling me I'm a piece of shit and I have no business marrying his daughter. But he'll let me do it anyway because at least I can make money for him. Look Dee Dee gets in her eyes when we're making love. Like all she has to do is hang in there until I come and it will be all over. All that shit hollowed me out. So does every fucking thing else. That's why I'm empty, Jimmy. That's why I wanted a taste of your life, your wife.
Takes a small drink of wine, bites a chunk out of a piece of bread. So the rest of the bread back in the basket.
So now what? Flaming fucking wheel?
No, I don't think so. I need you to do something for me.
What? Why?
Do you remember how you got the name X-Man?
Yeah. It's because of the outrageous shit I did. People said I wasn't like anyone else they knew. I was a mutant. So, X-Man.
Yeah. Here's a little secret for you. You're a hollowed out shell, just like most everybody else out there. There are millions and millions of you. You're not a mutant at all. Sure, what you do may be outrageous, but empty is empty. Outrageous empty isn't much different than timid empty. And people like me, oh, we need people like me. It's like I'm in the filling station business, just one tiny part of a huge conglomerate, ready, willing, able to give you and all your empty friends plenty of what you want. For a price, of course.
I don't know what you mean. Filling station? You've always been like a god to me. A fucking god.
Exactly. And empty people want to have what their gods have. We count on it.
Yeah. You're not gonna kill me.
No.
Then what? What do you want from me?
Well, X-Man, I'm going to send you on a little trip. You'll be gone for a long time.
A trip.
Yeah. I'm buying you a seat in the House of Representatives.
House of Representatives? In D.C.?
For now, yes. I got big plans for you.
Are you kidding? I don't know shit about politics.
Not necessary. We'll take care of all that for you. But you're a bright, articulate, charismatic young man, and empty as a jack-o'-lantern. My associates and I will fill you with everything you think you want. And then some.
What do I do?
What we tell you to do. You support what we tell you to support, oppose what we tell you to oppose.
What about the voters?
Don't worry about them. We'll tell them what to support and what to oppose to. Money and airtime, that's all it takes. It ain't fucking rocket science.
Republican or Democrat?
I'm not sure I care too much. But if I were you, I'd do Republican. They fuck up all they want, they ask forgiveness for their sins, they just carry on. Democrats just lie about it or resign. Anthony Weiner didn't even get laid, for Christ's sake. Asshole.
I gotta talk to Dee, make sure.
I've already talked to Dee Dee about it. We both think it would be better if she stays here. Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on her. Like I have ever since you two came to town. She did say her mother loves DC and will come to see you a lot. You're right, X-Man. Her mother is looking hot these days. Maybe you want to tap that.
How long?
What?
How long will I be there?
Well, there are no term limits. You're going to be there for a while. Maybe forever. Don't worry. You're going to love it. Drink your wine.
Anthony drinks his wine down in a gulp, then reaches for the bottle to fill his glass again. End of scene. We're still missing a bottle. All right, folks, bear with me as the voice of Athena will, in theory, be deeper than. All right.
Yeah, I can read it.
You want to do it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Here we are.
Timing, just in time.
Possible an inch.
Welcome.
You're on breath.
You need a breath? You want to get some water?
We're good.
Good? All right. All right. Our next scene is A Tantalizing Menu by Sarah Ho. Dark stage, Zeus roars with laughter, lights come up, and we see Zeus, Hera, Demeter, and Athena gathered at a table. Tantalus stands slightly away from the group at a sideboard, on which sits a decanter of wine and several goblets. The gods are drinking heavily.
So then, Polynices says, I'm going to kill you! To which Eccles replies, not if I kill you first.
They really killed each other?
Yes, and get this. Eccles is getting a proper burial, and poor Polynices has to lie out on the ground for the crows to eat. I guess their sister, the sister with balls that is, she's protesting. I mean, really, what will these mortals do next?
They laugh. Hera stares at Demeter.
Is everything all right, Hera?
It's just, I didn't know you'd be here, Demeter. If I had, I would
If you had, you would have fainted another headache and stayed home, eh?
So glad you all could make it. I have something special planned for you.
We're not all here. Where's your son, Pelops?
He's away.
Like, Persephone?
I'm sorry she's dead, Persephone. A parent should never have to bury a child.
How we love our children like I love my pride and joy. Tantalus, my man, what's on the menu tonight?
Something delicious, fit for the gods, to be sure.
They say grief brings loss of appetite, but I could eat a horse.
Good. Anyone want more wine?
Of course.
Yes, please.
I suppose.
Where are your servants?
Oh, you just now noticed it. I dismissed them for the night. Tonight I'm host, server, and cook.
Cook?
Yes, I thought I'd try my hand at something new.
A new recipe?
New to me.
You know, girls, Tantalus has the best grapes around. It's a wonder he can get any for himself the way his wine goes. Isn't that right, boy?
What's that?
Those grapes are often almost out of your reach.
What an odd thing to say.
Well, you know.
What does that mean?
It doesn't have to mean anything. I'm the damn king of the gods. I say whatever I damn well want. Isn't that right, Tantalus? See, my girl Rose. She's my pride and joy. Tantalus, my man, why don't you drink?
I want my guests to be comfortable.
I have a drink, go on.
Tantalus goes to the sideboard, pulls himself first a small cup.
You know, it's not every day a mortal gets to host a few gods. Even if one of them is your father, you're a lucky man.
Really? Do you have no shame?
What?
No humility? So you're the king of the gods. So what? You're a guest, and you should behave like a guest.
Oh, Hera, it's all right. He's not hurting anybody.
Not yet.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm sick of you.
Hera glares at Demeter. Zeus glares at Hera. Demeter looks at her plate, running her finger around the edge. Athena breaks the silence.
Hey, Demeter, something I've been wondering. If Persephone was the guardian of the underworld, and she's dead now, isn't she just in the underworld again?
Yes, I suppose. But the difference is I can never see her. We can never see her.
Yes, it's all very sad.
I have a question. If Zeus and I are married, and Zeus is Persephone's father, and you and Zeus are brother and sister, does that make me Persephone's aunt or stepmother?
I don't.
Whatever it makes me, I think it makes you a whore. Oh!
She rushes at Hera. The two start clawing at each other. Athena and Tantalus rush to separate them as Zeus just laughs.
Not in my house! Not in my house!
Stop it, both of you!
They subside.
You're my stepmother, okay? You're my stepmother.
No, I'm not. You only belong to him. I have no one.
You're my stepmother too, Hera. I wish you could see that.
Yes. We're all related, and it's all because of me. What of it?
It's all right, Hera. It's all right. We're all here for you.
That's right.
Really? Well, you all seem to be here to shame
You're
me.
getting worked up over nothing. We're gods. We're above shaming. We're better than that, right, Tantalus?
Actually, I think you're all like any mortal family. Shame is in every family. Sometimes children bring it to their parents. Sometimes parents bring it to their children.
That's nonsense.
All families fight. It's all about getting what you want.
I want you to be faithful, Zeus.
I can do what I want.
I want my daughter back.
I just want you all to get along.
Even if you are a god, there are some things that are always out of your reach.
Well, I want more wine.
That I can provide.
I'd like some more, please.
Of course.
Me too.
Tantalus, why don't you have some more wine?
I want to stay present for my family, my guests.
Too bad Pelops isn't here tonight. Where did he go, Tantalus?
He wanted to go someplace hot.
Oh, it's plenty hot here.
Somewhere he could bake in the sun.
I'm sorry he's not here. He's cute. He's yummy.
My child, do you have mortal fever?
I guess I do.
You must get it from your father.
There's nothing wrong with mortal fever. If Zeus didn't have it, I wouldn't be here.
Lots of people wouldn't be here.
Yes, I'm quite prolific.
Athena, I'm sure Pelops would love to be with you. Perhaps you'll be together sooner than you think. Speaking of which, why don't I serve dinner now? I'll be right back.
See, Father, he's not so bad for a mortal.
That's my girl, always seeing the best in everyone. What you have to understand, my darling, is that mortals must be careful not to overstep the line with gods. Yes, he's hosting us, but you must never forget he's inferior to us.
Tantalus enters, wheeling out a cart. On the cart is a huge covered dish.
Lovely.
Here we go.
Starts to lift it.
Oh, it's heavy.
Careful.
Shameless manages to get it to the table.
Smells delicious.
Voila! Demeter, give me your plate.
He takes your plate and serves her a piece.
Athena,
What is it?
it's veal.
Oh, no, I can't eat veal. Baby cows, you know.
Hera,
That looks awfully rich. I'm trying to slim down. I'll just have some fruit or something.
all right. Zeus.
I'm saving room for dessert.
Well, I'm sorry you can't eat what I spent so long. I mean, all right. Looks like it's just you and me, Demeter.
Serves himself a plate.
Well, here goes. I know she wanted me to eat, so. Oh, this is wonderful. So tender. How did you do it?
Well, it was a long process. First, I raised it from a baby, nurtured it, fed it good food. And when it came of age, I butchered it. I cut it up and marinated it in red wine for a few hours. Then I slow roasted it. Got the flavors. Made a sauce with the drippings. Put it all together in a casserole dish. Let it all melt together for a while. And there we have it.
Sounds great.
You sure you won't have any?
No, thank you.
Oh, I hit a bone.
Oh, gross.
Oh, but there's not a lot of fat on it, though.
That's part of the shoulder.
Oh, the veal shoulder?
Yes.
I don't believe I've ever eaten anything shoulder before.
I know a body part you ate.
Hera slaps him. All are silent.
I'm sorry, this is my fault. I shouldn't have put you all together.
It's okay.
No, I'm a terrible.
It's all right, boy. You didn't know. It's always like this.
It's your fault. You are a philanderer. If you could just keep it in your pants, we wouldn't have this problem.
So please, just stop. Would you all just stop? I've just lost my child. And you're all fighting all the time, but at least you have each other and no one. And all I have is, this is really delicious, Tantalus. May I?
She serves herself some.
Here, let me.
Demeter's already got her hand on the ladle. She pulls up. There's a man's sandal in it. They all stare at it. Demeter lets it drop.
What in my name is this?
The leather gives it flavor.
Let me see.
She plunges her hand into the dish and she pulls out the sandal.
This is Pilaf sandal.
Oh, God.
Demeter runs off.
Did you?
It's not what it looks like.
Did you kill your son and cook him up?
He would be happy to know he's food for the perfect gods.
Stupid mortal, you're supposed to raise your children, not eat them.
Oh, so you're an expert on child rearing now?
Shut up. Tantalus, you have committed a terrible crime. Not only did you kill your son, you served him to us for dinner.
You know what they say, kill two birds with one stone.
You have broken two, not one, but two sacred laws of nature. You will be punished.
I'm sorry. I thought you, of all people, would like it.
Me?
You have to admit, you've done some pretty twisted stuff. I mean, sleeping with your sister.
Oh, that's not at all the same. Now, you will be punished. I just have to decide how.
Zeus picks up the sandal, begins to absentmindedly chew on it.
Good.
He throws it away.
Why don't you put him under those grapes of his and make it so he can never eat them again, since he's so fond of food?
I know. You will have fruit you can never eat.
And he should stand in a pool of water he can never drink from.
And water you can never drink.
How long is this supposed to go on?
Why?
Forever.
Please, you can't. I can't even conceive of forever. Give me 10 years.
Forever.
What if you could somehow bring it back to life?
Oh, we could, and we will. But what you've done is the worst of the worst.
You only say that because I've made a fool of you.
Ha! You think so?
I did. I made fools of all of you. Just as you made a fool of me.
What?
You said you were above shaming. You all act like you're above it all. But you're no different than mortals with all your fighting and superiority.
You're digging yourself a deeper hole, boy.
Are you all right?
I'm so ashamed. What would she think of me?
You didn't know.
I'm sorry, Demeter. Of all of you, I like you. I'm sorry.
So you like her. I don't blame you. What's not like?
Hera slaps him.
What did I do this time?
Please, we're talking about him. Can we stop fighting for one moment? Tantalus is right. We're always fighting. He's the one who's committed the horror. He is the one who should be punished.
Athena, do you really think I need to be punished for an eternity? Can't you make it, I don't know, a year for every appendage or something?
Shut up! Don't you try to weasel out of this. You know what we should do? We should cut you up and serve you at a banquet.
Yes! I will knock him out and you cut him up with your sword, Athena.
She chases Tantalus around the table. He makes a break for the sideboard and grabs the wine.
I'll dump it!
No, stop!
Don't do it.
I don't care. He made me eat someone's shoulder, and it had a bone in it.
She lunges at him. Instead of dumping it, he guzzles it.
No! Ha! Don't feel very godly without your wine, do you?
He weeps.
I don't care. Put me under those grapes. If they last forever, they can't be that good. Oh.
He
Get
collapses.
him!
Wait, don't you see? Putting him in a tempting situation for eternity is so much worse than death. Death is the end of the trouble. It's too good for him. Demeter, I know you're sad for Persephone, but she's at peace now. Do you really want him at peace from what he did? The punishment should put him in the same agony he gave his son. He's right. We all want something we can't have. Make that real for him. Give him the grapes. Or rather, don't give him the grapes.
You're right.
That's wise.
My what?
Tantalus rouses.
Am I dead?
Hardly. You're ready for your punishment.
Please, Zeus. Please, Father.
Don't call me that. You're just a mortal.
And that's it, isn't it? Of all the things a son could want, I'll never have what I really want. Your love.
Enough.
Wait. One thing. Why did you do it?
We like to think our children are the best of us. That we work hard to raise them and hope they'll shine. But he's shown too much. He became everything I wanted to be, but wasn't. A bright, charismatic, beautiful, brilliant boy. I know I should have been happy, but seeing him that way, being with him every day, just made me want what I couldn't have. Want to be someone I wasn't. So I was trapped between him and a father who didn't want me. I couldn't claim Pelops any more than I could claim you, Zeus. So I took him. I butchered him like an animal, because I couldn't be him.
Athena.
She and Zeus grab Tantalus and drag him off.
Please, please!
They exit.
Do you want to get something to eat?
I'm starving.
Let's see what the mortal has left in his kitchen.
Oh, we didn't cut the servants.
They exit. End of scene. So again, it's only part of the evening. Now, we'd love to have your feedback, thoughts, ideas, suggestions. If there's anything that you've got questions about, we'd love to hear them.
Was Helios' description dropped, or did you just not do it?
It changed.
It changed. Okay.
Yep. I thought I read it out. Did it?
I don't think you did.
He did.
I didn't hear it. Did he?
He did. It was just like a lot shorter.
Anyways, I just didn't hear it. Yeah.
So no, it did not get dropped. It did change though.
It did change quite a bit.
Anything else? Anybody? Sure. Anybody?
He looks evil.
Yes.
He was reluctant. He showed up. He told me he wasn't going to say anything because he said a lot last time. I said that's okay because it's going to change. So no, please. Thoughts or suggestions are more than welcome.
The monologue with the Icarus was brilliant, but maybe inspirational at the end would be her seeing other people like copying him, trying to do something similar instead of just describing how it was inspiring to see him float there from before he died.
What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, at the end, after Icarus jumps off the cliff,
Yeah.
you describe how inspiring it was.
Oh, right.
And then to truly drive home the point, maybe it was so inspiring that people are copying or trying to do something similar.
What about you folks? Any thoughts?
Here, one more comment up there.
A question about the monologue that he just brought up. Why was Daedalus cut, the whole story of Daedalus cut out? Because it's from the viewpoint of the mother, or?
son of one person interacting with it. Again, it certainly is, as folks can attest, the choices definitely start to pull you down a different path. So, thoughts or concerns, or I know Dave, you enjoyed the empty scene a great deal.
It was fun.
Again, any more?
Can we talk to the playwrights as well?
I suppose so. I was just going to give a chance for folks to not say anything,
Okay.
or not know that the playwrights are here, because we do actually have three of the playwrights here. Aurelia, who wrote Distance from the Sun, right here. Sarah, who wrote Tantalizing Menu, right here. And hiding back in the shadows is Alex. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, if there are questions for the authors have some thoughts or things they'd like to share, feel free.
Now, originally the monologue was from a man's point of view.
It was more male, I think. It was more neutral, right? Yeah.
More neutral?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you think that, hearing it out loud, that it works from a woman's point of view? Or is it clear when you hear it that this woman is his mother?
Anybody?
That's anybody else.
I brought up his sister and his nephew. It was obvious.
Okay.
I heard a very maternal tone.
Yeah, she read it differently tonight than she did last night, because it wasn't until after we practiced that she realized, well, we talked about it. I went, well, they're somehow related. How are they? And Jeff goes, this is Mom. I'm like, we hadn't thought that yet. So yeah, she read it different tonight. It was neat to see that.
Well, and from a vantage point of evolution, that actually was a thought that Alex played around with after the article came out. So it wasn't even feedback that we'd gotten. It was just somebody had misunderstood and had originally thought it was from Icarus's mom. So Alex decided to see what it looked like.
That's not right, but that's better.
There was one part, and I don't know if maybe you would give it away too much to Miss Icarus's mother. I don't know if maybe that's, you're trying not to make it so overt. But there was one part where she said, no, the son of a craftsman. Well, I guess your husband was a craftsman at some point. But she said, I looked into his, the word that in there, my sweet boy's face is what I wanted to hear.
Oh, I laughed at that sweet innocent boy.
Yeah, I laughed at my sweet innocent boy. I don't know if that is...
See, but I have to take the other tack on that, because it's nice for the audience to sort of put it together themselves. And if she says, my sweet boy, then they're going to say, oh,
This is true. What I'm seeing, though, is that I'm worried that she's talking so distant from him that she doesn't seem to have... She's related to him, we know this now, but she's still talking about him as a stranger. In my opinion, I'm still hearing both voices. I'm hearing now the voice of a mother and also the voice of somebody who doesn't really even know who he was. Because she talks about this son of a craftsman as if she calls him Icarus the entire time, but then she calls her grandson by grandson. And I think that those two things, something's not meshing there for me.
We talked about this last night, and it reminded me of the mother of a fallen service member, and how they talk about that person later, even though we know that child was her child. And I've seen it many times in my business. Their perception of their children takes on a different air. It's about the sacrifice. It's about the lessons that they impart onto others. It's more so than it just being my kid.
Right.
And I think that carries them through that horrible, horrible sorrow, and they become strong, just like she becomes so strong at the end. And it's all the pride of her son. She's so amazingly proud how he changed not only her and himself, but everybody on Crete. And so I think that causes that distance. So where she's talking about him, she's talking more about his legacy than
Right.
him.
And her guilt in part.
And her guilt.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alex, give me more things.
I would say my question then is, if I were to personalize the relationship with the grandson more, would that clarify? Would that kind of?
I don't know, and I don't want to say, oh, make it more personal, because I did know that David said that, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Yes, I see that too. So that even made me go, oh, well, no, I understand the distance from the way his perspective was. I'm just afraid that if one piece is not heard by an audience member, one aspect of it, they're going to lose that there's a relationship there.
If she says my son somewhere in there, I don't think that's a terrible thing.
No, and instead of saying my son, that's why I thought that.
Or not my child, my baby, but my son.
His what did I say it was? His.
I laughed at that sweet innocence.
I laughed at his. My sweets and it, whatever. That's where I thought it was a good place for her to take that. This was my son, and just that one little blurb for me seemed like a place where you could really make that connection in case somebody else missed it.
My only thought with it was I was taking a step back from just how you were painting that canvas. I like those big broad strokes, but then there was just like the mention of like the 4-year-old grandson. It was just too specific, I thought. Like that was just too specific of a detail for like the way that you've been painting that. I guess it just kind of I found that a little bit jarring.
I did too. That like there towards the very end.
Yeah, it just seemed like too specific for where we've been going. And I liked the tone, and I really liked how you've been painting that picture.
I have exact same agree with that. Just that very end where she says to my 4-year-old, I went, well, why do we have to say it was 4? It didn't matter how old he was, I guess.
Yeah.
Is my thought.
Interesting.
I think it depends on what the monologue is speaking to. If she is speaking about his legacy, as you said, then that's what's important, his legacy, what he did, and her guilt. And I think she should say my son, but I don't think it should be to the very end. For some reason, that, you know, what he taught us, what he left us, Icarus, my son, you know. Not in those words, but you know what I mean, just that.
And that's certainly, again, back to Dave's point, we had some of that emphasis, because you've talked about that legacy, and yes, you've built up those walls about how you're not going to break down and you're not going to let it be something that's impacting you. But the reality is you get to that end, and as uplifted as you are, it's still your son that you lost. I mean, I think that there's some strength to that.
Absolutely.
Because I would agree with Dave. I mean, there's certain ability of distance that you try and put in there.
You have to, or you wouldn't be able to get. You wouldn't be
then
able
you
to
find
get
yourself falling back. Other thoughts, ideas? I mean, again.
Well, I have to tell you that I'm puzzled. I go back almost before the wheel, certainly before television, and these myths were very important in my era, if you were a reader. And when you were not reading Les Mis and you weren't doing Dickens, you were tending to get involved in these stories. And to me, they were somewhat akin to Aesop's fables that were also being devoured by us. Okay. So those 4 mythical characters, to me, were Sermons on the Mount. They were sort of suggesting, and for Icarus, I'm not getting that story in my childhood.
Oh, and I would agree. Certainly, the Icarus myth doesn't become an uplifting. It's a cautionary tale. Yeah, it's absolutely about folly.
And his dad, where's the dad gone in this story?
He left it. He went for a pack of cigarettes.
No. It's just that, in a way, I wish that all of the 4 characters were not, don't tell people, don't print out what they're based on, because to me they've gone a long way from my perspective of those characters. And for Icarus, it was his dad that had to get out of prison and fly if he could, and the dad made 2 sets of wings, right? That's Icarus. And all they did was they're going to get out of Crete so that the father wouldn't be killed. Fine. And the dad told him to follow him. I mean, it seemed kind of an interesting little story and thought process to me. Follow him, he'd be safe, but don't go too low and don't go too high. And he disobeyed the limits. He got entranced with the process of flight, and he went too close to the sun.
But what if the story got changed over time? What if that was the original story and maybe somebody took a different version of it? That's what this is right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be taking a different view of that.
Well,
specifically.
And to the author's defense, in total, when I started out with the idea of even coming up with the Four Disgracers, it was taking the inspiration of art. The 16th century engraver who did the Four Disgracers. And honestly, the myths themselves, I knew 3 out of the 4 before I saw these engravings. But what inspired me wasn't the myths, it wasn't what he did with them, it was actually the Latin phrase of what he took as an interpretation for the Ixion myth. So what I asked the authors to do wasn't to provide a retelling of the old myths, because I would agree, I can go to Bullfinch's, I can go to a number of mythological resources to get that. What I asked them to do is to find some facet or component of it that resonated for them, or that struck a chord to inspire new art. Taking the mythological stories, art from way back when, then taking, again, the context of these engravings and or even the Latin phrase, and making that a jumping off point. Now, as you can see, some went very close. Actually, Empty, I would say he was very, very close.
Yes, he was.
And his illusions kind of take you along with that. Whereas I like that we do have that wide gamut, because I would agree. I grew up, reading all of those myths and knowing all those myths. This is why I've got the bad habit of naming my groups things that no one knows.
I don't.
Like, there's like you and me, like 2 other people. Everyone goes, "What? How do you say that?" So, I think it's absolutely appropriate to say, "What about the myth?" But I would hope, and this is maybe my naivete, but I believe that art inspires not only new art, but also inspires a reappreciation for old art. I think it takes that circle and goes, so you've got that reference point. Or, again, you get expertise and you go, oh wait, this isn't the same one, I don't think. I'm going to go back and take a look. And if you go and put another hour in rereading the myths, that is a wonderful outcome for a show to have accomplished. So I understand the concern about verity towards the myth, but I do enjoy that they explored it and possibly created resonance, or possibly created a more relevant retelling for them. So
and of the 4 stories, I like the Icarus story best. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful work of prose, but we've turned him into an inspiration. And to me, he was a warning. He was, for heaven's sakes, if you'd just done what your dad said, you'd be fine.
And she even says that. I mean, she even makes that comment.
That's right, that it's a warrant, or
that they're going to hold this as a warning, but to
show us our limits.
But remember, for just this moment, that in that warning, there was that inspiration.
And I will offer up an even extra special defense than Alex in this case. I think Alex was also taking the reference points of the 2 theater groups that I've done and recognizing that there's a reason why. Daryl and I, when we created Icarus Falling 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah, I know your past.
We reveled in the idea of, well, of course he didn't follow. Yes, he's going to crash. Absolutely. You are correct. If you don't listen to Dad, your odds are going to get burned on the stove, or cut yourself while running with scissors. I mean, you've got all kinds of things that falls into. But we couldn't imagine a world where you didn't take a chance. And you didn't try and do something more or different than what everyone said.
Oh, and I can remember having really interesting talks with my mom, because we read all of these over and over again, you know? It's what you did. And we did talk about, but for a moment, he soared.
Yep.
But look at it, I guess I look at it from the story of Pygmalion and Galatia. George Bernard Shaw used that as a starting point when he wrote Pygmalion, which became My Fair Lady. The story has some similarities, but it's completely different.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what I'm seeing this as, just an example like that.
I think something that's really interesting about all four of these is the way they play with time, and I think that because that first piece feels the most ancient, but it also feels like it could go in a dystopian future. So I don't know. I kept thinking Hunger Games while I was hearing that.
Well, and I would agree. I mean, there's a certain. I mean, I was talking to Alex about this a couple of weeks ago. One of my favorite playwrights is Václav Havel, and some of his reference into that about not being able to write what you should write, or do what you should do, or make sure that you toe the line. What resonated for me from some of Václav Havel's works for that very reason. I agree. It starts to take you into this: do you, don't you? Can I do things, or will I be in trouble? And so I enjoy that part of it as well.
And then, in the last piece we have the Greek gods, but they're talking in this contemporary way, and you have the Pelops, now I'm thinking about dinner, right? I thought that was really funny. And it reminded me a lot of, I saw in Chicago, Joanna Gladys' production of Seneca's Thyestes in Carol Churchill's translation, and the sort of eating the people, thing, and he was licking his fingers, and, just kind of, I think, playing with that idea. And then the other two, we have the sort of American mythos of the mafia, and it's sort of tied to that story, and again, the kind of contemporary fortune cookies and everything. So I think, I don't know, I guess I'm curious in the production how these will be tied together, if there's a design aspect to that, or if you're not concerned about that.
I'm absolutely concerned about that. Certainly, it would definitely have been something that I was waiting for the cart to get finished before I built the horse. And one of the things that I'm going to do with it is actually, and of course you don't see him here, is the engraver is going to become the bridge for all of those. It becomes the motif for me to pull it together and do the scene changes and get people on and off stage. So that's kind of what I'm playing with right now. Again, I like the idea that art, and inspires a different answer, and inspires great, thoughts and passion one way or another about where to go. I think that's a great way to maintain relevancy in a world that doesn't necessarily show up to see people. Other thoughts? Anybody? All right. Well, again, oops.
I started it, I might as well finish it, right? With Tantalus, at the end, when Ixion finds out he's going to Congress, he doesn't.
No. Empty is X-Man.
X-Men.
Yeah. So, and Brad is not here because he is writing for us out of Boulder. Yeah, he's originally from the Lansing area, but he relocated a while back.
I'm sorry. But if he could just be more horrified about the thought of going to Congress. There's people out there that spend millions and millions of dollars trying to get there, and he's being told given a free ride, we're going to be putting you there, but he doesn't seem to be
and I would agree. I think that once we get working it and we're actually crafting it during a rehearsal process, that would play out. I don't know that Brad needs to add more to that scene so much as truly just what?
That's in the direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I would agree it does have to be truly damning. Again, it's worse than being tied to an ever-burning flaming wheel.
I thought about that.
And he thought about it. So I would agree that that's got to come out stronger and will in a full production. It's a little tougher to do on a stage reading.
And I'm sorry, I
Yes.
I read the wrong thing. For Tantalus, the motivation of killing his son was basically he was jealous of
That
his
was
son.
mine.
Yeah, and that's profound and everything, but it's a horrible crime and everything, and maybe